Folks, it's Tales from the Jails with me, John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. It really helps, you know. Come on, folks, help. Anyway, I'm going to talk today about partly about Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, but and the abuse that is endured by certain individuals at the hands of people in authority, both as prison staff, at the courts, and in the clergy. I'm going to start today's little account by recalling an incident that I observed and reported, by the way, whilst I was an officer at Wormwood Scrubs. It was a Saturday morning in the summer of 1976, early in the summer, probably about July, and it was a Saturday morning, probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and the wing, that C wing at Wormwood Scrubs, was in general out on the exercise yard. And I was patrolling the landings, and as I went along the wands, I saw in one of the cells, slightly through an open door, an inmate who appeared to me to be inappropriately attired. So I opened the door and looked in, and there was one of the prisoners, a young prisoner, probably about 23 years of age, and he was wearing a surplice, you know what the choir wears in church. So I shot the bolt and went in. I said, you're going to tell me now why you're dressed up like this, because those are required to remain within the church area designated for the church. You're not allowed to have them in your cell, and why are you wearing this outfit? And the inmate, who was a young man, became visibly upset. He started crying and shaking and said, I can't tell you. I said, just sit down on your bed. I said, and consider this. You're going to tell me, or you and I are going to go and see the governor, and you can tell him. Make your mind up. So, as gently as I could, I persuaded him to tell me the story, which was quite disturbing. He told me eventually, after a great deal of consultation and me assuring him that he was going to be perfectly fine and that I would make sure he didn't come to any trouble through this. And the story that he told me was this. He said that he had been required by a member of the clergy in the church, which is the Church of England, to take his choir boy outfit, because he was one of the choir boys, to his cell and wear it, whilst this particular clergyman visited him on a Saturday mornings, and he was required to get down on his hands and knees and, dressed as a choir boy, fillet said member of the clergy, which was extremely disturbing. I got the name of the clergyman. He knew the first name of the clergyman. He knew who he was anyway. He told me who he was. So I got a sheet of A4, 2 sheets of A4 paper, and wrote out his statement, which he dictated to me. In effect, I used, to the best of my ability, his words to advise exactly what was happening. Then I got him to take off his surplice and all the rest of it, put it into the pillowcase, the cover for the pillowcase, and locked him up. Then I went to see the principal officer in charge of the wing, told him exactly what I'd seen, and that I'd taken statements, and that I got the signed statements, 2 statements that I'd written exactly identical. Yeah, and showed them to the principal officer, who didn't look very happy to see these. He said, right, just give me a sec, dial the number, spoke to somebody on the phone. He said, right, go and see the number 1 chief officer now, immediately. So, taking what I had with me, the surplus in the pillowcase cover, and the statement, and I went to see the number one chief officer. Told him briefly, outlined exactly what I'd seen and how I'd reacted, and take the statement from the inmate, and he started banging on his desk. How dare you? Who has given you the authority to investigate senior members of my staff? I said, I'll show you who's given me the authority. So I showed him my warrant card. So it says on there, on that warrant card, I have all the powers of a police constable when acting as a prison officer under the 1952 Prison Act. I said, so that is the authority I need to investigate this obviously criminal offence. The inmate is being abused. The clergyman in question is conducting this on Home Office premises. The evidence is there. It's in that pillowcase. And the statement is there, signed by the inmate, witnessed by me, and I've done my duty. Now, I said, I can't do any more. It's up to you what you do. I said, that is my authority. I've done my job, and I'm going to leave it entirely with you to do yours. Banging on the table. Big fella he was. Yeah, chief officer, first rank chief officer. Get out of my office. Boom. So that's what was happening. I mean, it was the clergyman from the Church of England was pursuing young boys in the prison and getting them to fillet him. For those of you who are not familiar with the term fellatio, it basically means sucking dicks. So that's what he was getting this boy to do, and it really upset this young man. Anyway, I never heard any more about that. Nothing. Not a damn thing. I got one of the governors at the same kind of thing as well. You can read all about it in my books. The first version, HMP Manchester Prison Officer, Volume 1. It's all in there about the governor as well, who was he wasn't getting himself filleted, he was getting himself rogered up the backside by a Category A prisoner. And smuggling, trafficking and all the rest of it. And the statements are in my book. They're all absolutely factual. And you may wonder, oh, if you found that out, what on earth happened? Something drastic must have happened. It did. They called the police in. Yes, it's in my book. You'll read about it. And the police came in to investigate me. How's about that? Now, the thing is, Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, has resigned. He knew in the year 2013 that this Bishop John Smythe, I believe his name was interfering with young boys. We're not talking about one or two young boys, we're talking about 130 or so young boys. He was removed from his post in the UK and sent to work in Zimbabwe, I believe it was, in Africa, where he continued his pursuit of young men and no doubt was at liberty with the full knowledge that he was doing this kind of thing. The full knowledge, from what I can understand, it may be speculation on my part, but from what I see, the now Archbishop, or the ex-Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, who was just resigned, knew what was happening, and whilst he may not have condoned it, he didn't take action to prevent it. And there are a number of other bishops in the Church of England who also observed that John Smythe, the bishop, was practicing abuse and molesting young members of his congregation. He ran, conveniently enough, a summer type camp where young boys would stay in tents, and no doubt he was entertaining himself by interfering with them. And basically it seems to be endemic in that particular profession. It is a profession, let's be perfectly honest about this. I mean, they do have degrees in theology, so you can go to university, go to Oxford University and get a degree in theology. And what does this amount to? It amounts to a vast knowledge of an invisible man who nobody's ever seen, who intervenes at will, so it seems, by prayer. You get down on your hands and knees, and if you're not saying prayers to that particular invisible deity, you can get your laughing tattle round the bishop's knob end. How about that then? Right, I'm expecting one of these visits. They seem to be very popular, don't they? Hey, boys in blue coming round telling me how to think. Really? You know where I am. That's the song dinger, by the way. I've been out for lunch today with my friend Michael. Laugh a minute, Michael. On the way back, he sang me a song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I thought, well, that's very appropriate. So, to entertain you all today, having rung the song dinger, so you've been warned, don't forget, like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, insult me, comment, criticise, request. I'm a happy guy, go for it. Yeah, here we are, my version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, originally sung by Judy Garland in the film The Wizard of Oz. Are you ready? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I? Thank you very much. It's Tales from the Jails. Hope you're enjoying these. Do like and subscribe.